Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And we try as much as possible to bring you the latest information and, the experts in the field. We know we're good, but we try to get people who are even better. And we're so lucky to have Charlie Skeen, who is a certified nutritionist. He, at the age of 12, overcame a major health problems that, unfortunately, the physicians failed at treating. And he has over 40 years' experience in researching and studying health, fitness, and nutrition, and has an extensive background in experience in exercise and fitness. And Charlie is also experienced developer and formulator of high-quality supplements for several companies, including HealthfulBalance, which is located in Phoenix, Arizona, and has been involved in lots of different formulations, particularly one called Healthful Bone. And we want to talk a little bit about that because osteoporosis is an issue that doctors only seem to want to throw calcium at. Hi, Charlie.
Good morning.
So why are doctors so fixated on calcium?
By the bucketful.
Well, it's actually years ago when they noticed people were having osteoporosis, they came to a very simple conclusion. Wow, the bones are losing calcium, so let's just shovel a whole bunch in there and hope everything works out for the best. It's kind of interesting if you look at the trade journals in the nutrition industry for sales on products. They come out every so often to tell you what's selling, what's not selling. Calcium has always been high on the list as a huge seller in the health food industry. But when you look at the chart, if you look at a chart, let's say for the last 20, 30 years, you'll see how calcium supplements have been selling higher and higher and higher for years. But it's interesting, on that same note, osteoporosis travels up with the sale of the calcium supplements as well. In other words, if taking all that calcium was the answer, then we should be seeing osteoporosis graph charts going down, not up.
And that's what I was wondering, if doctors have been doing this for 30 years and the women aren't getting better, it takes 30 years for them to get the hint?
They still haven't gotten the hint. They're still shoveling calcium into women.
And they shovel the wrong kinds of calcium. Most of the calcium they shovel into them basically is calcium carbonate, which is the absolute worst form you could possibly use because it causes milk alkali syndrome in the kidneys, and it builds up in the arteries, and it just builds up all over the body, bone spurs and the heart valves. In fact, one cardiologist was saying that over 50% of his patients that he examined, they had a buildup of calcium deposits in the mitral valves of their heart.
Wow. Now, osteoporosis can affect both men and women. I mean, usually predominantly women we hear about, but it also can affect men. About how many people in the United States has osteoporosis right now?
Well, you get all kinds of charts on that, and you really can't get a concrete answer, but it's high. For example, I had one chart that said that over 54 million U.S. adults age 50 and older, that they are affected by bone loss, osteoporosis, and low bone mass. It's also said 10.2 million adults have osteoporosis, and another 43.4 million have low bone mass. But here's the interesting point. Regardless of what these figures are, I deal with a lot of people, and over the last 3 months or so, I've had a tremendous, huge effect on many people talking to me about their osteoporosis. I mean, it's really becoming quite rampant in this country and other industrialized countries like England as well, because of the lifestyle and the methodology that's being used to treat osteoporosis. We don't see it improving anytime soon right now because of the insanity that's involved with this.
What are the causes of it? I mean, it's not like people suddenly reach a certain age and stop consuming calcium. So,
Well, that's an interesting point. I used to live in Okinawa many years ago, and the people in Okinawa, they get, this is interesting, from the day they're born to the day they die, the amount of calcium they get in their diet is around 400 to 500 milligrams a day. Whereas when you look at the typical American, if you look at the dairy they're eating and all the other cheese and stuff that they're eating, Norway and other countries like that, Finland, these countries get on the average of 12 to 1,500 or more milligrams a day of calcium in their diet. And yet these countries that have the highest intake of calcium have the highest rates of osteoporosis, cancers, heart disease, and diabetes. Now in Okinawa, they were consuming 400 to 500 milligrams a day from the day they were born to the day they died. But it's very interesting. It was very, very difficult to find anybody on that island who had osteoporosis or any of these other diseases I just mentioned. And there's a reason for that. It's because researchers have discovered that the more calcium we consume, the more what they call calcium-induced diseases occur. What I mean by that is, when we overconsume a nutrient, in this case calcium, the overabundance of calcium in the human body enter into the trillions of cells that make up the human body, causing massive amounts of free radical damage, damaging the cell tissue structures throughout the body, thereby inducing problems with liver function, pancreatic function, heart function, functions throughout the entire body. So taking lots of calcium is upsetting the entire balance of the body. That's why people are having these problems.
Now, a lot of the doctors today are promoting, and you see it on television all the time, the biphosphonates, such as Fosamax, and a lot of them come with some significant side effects, but they're all telling patients, and I have a number of patients that come in being told that Fosamax or these other biphosphonates medications for osteoporosis build new bone. Do they?
Well, biophosphonates, which actually was a chemical that was used for something entirely different before they started using it for building bone tissue. It was actually used in the chemical industry. But they found out that the biophosphonates, and they have many different names they use, one of them you mentioned, but biophosphonates, the way they work in the human body, we have osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Now, osteoclasts are cells that are designed to break down old bone because, for example, let's take the skin on our body. We're always breaking down cell structures in our body, like our skin, for example. So as long as we take care and nourish our skin properly, as the cells break down, we'll make new healthy skin cells. Same thing with the bones. From the day you're born to the day you die, you're always creating new bone tissue. You're getting rid of old and building new. Well, somebody came along, once again, some big thinker decided, well, how about we do this? Let's take the biophosphonates and give it to people, because if we can prevent the osteoclasts from breaking down the bone and let the osteoblasts continue to make bone all the time, then we'll build bone tissue and everybody will be a happy camper. But what happened is that when you take the biophosphonates and you shut off the mechanism that takes away the old bone, all you're simply doing is this. The old bone remains, and you're continuing to build new bone on top of the old bone. Now, here's the problem. When you go to a doctor and they want to do a bone density test, they want to check the density of the bone or how thick the bone is. That doesn't mean anything. Your bones could be extremely thick, but they could be extremely weak. And so what's happening is, because the old bone remains, it becomes harder and harder, just like glass, and it will break and shatter. So a lot of people can be walking along the road, the sidewalk, hit the ground because the leg bone or the hip bone has become so hardened and so brittle, it shatters and they hit the ground. And as a result of that, you're going to wind up with a lot of heavy health issues where they're going to try to put you back together. But when the doctors get in there sometimes try to put the pelvis back together, they have nothing to work with because the bone is so hard now and brittle, they can't do anything with it. And you can wind up after a hip injury like that. Usually most people die within 6 months to a year, so it's very dangerous.
We got to take a quick break. And Charlie, and when we get back, I want to talk about what can we do to help build healthy bone and not just end up with these brittle glass-like bones that are going to fracture very easily. So if everybody hangs on, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And our special guest, Charlie Skeen. We'll be back in a moment.
Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And our guest is Charlie Skeen, certified nutritionist, expert extraordinaire. He knows it all. He's amazing. And Charlie, what we try to explain to our patients is that the bones are made up of more than just calcium. There are other nutrients that are needed. And for instance, if you were to make a brick and all you put is sand and water, you're not going to end up with a brick. You need other nutrients. What are some of the other nutrients that are necessary to formulate bone and to give the building blocks to make bone? And what formula do you think would be most beneficial?
Well, years ago when I was putting this formula together and doing research on bone-building products and the human body and how it functioned, put together a product containing, and I'm going to go down the list here and talk about some of these things individually, but for example, vitamin D3 is required. In fact, studies have been done all over the world now showing that one of the major reasons that people were building healthier bone wasn't because of how much calcium they took. The ones who took the most vitamin D actually had better results than those who took the highest amount of calcium. So, of course, we have vitamin D3 in here, which is the bioactive form. Well, it has to be converted in the body, though, into the calcitrol form, which I'll explain here in a little bit. But we have vitamin D3 in here, 400 IU, in this product. That's one of the things that's required for healthy bone, very much so. People don't get enough sunshine, by the way. It's interesting. They did a test in the Middle East. People were having a lot of back pain. They couldn't figure out why, and they tested them. Now, listen to this. Here they are in one of the sunniest parts of the world, and they had back pain, and they found out they were vitamin D deficient. And that's because if you notice those people in that part of the world, they wear all these heavy clothes around their body, and they don't absorb any sunshine.
Yeah.
Then we have vitamin K. Now, this is kind of interesting. Vitamin K is required for healthy bone building. And here we've got K1, which most people are familiar with. They also have K2 as MK7 and MK4. Newer research is coming out on these guys showing that they're being used by the body to direct calcium. When you take it into your system, it's then being directed over to the bone tissue and to the teeth where that calcium actually needs to be going. Now, our bodies can manufacture MK7 and MK4 from K1. Unfortunately, due to the lifestyle that people have with drinking chlorinated water and smoking and eating processed foods and sugars and things like that, and having not good bowel health, having proper probiotics and prebiotics in their system, they cannot convert K1 into MK7 and MK4. So by adding a supplement like this into their system, now their body can use it to direct the calcium to where it needs to go. Also, they found out that there's studies showing from Czechoslovakia and other places that MK7 is now showing excellent results in reducing inflammation throughout the body, which is critical because a lot of people are walking around with a lot of inflammation, and that will also affect your bone tissue as well. Then we added something in here. I looked at this and I said, well, what's causing people to lose bone as well? And homocysteine is a problem with people. So I put vitamin B6, vitamin B12 as methylcobalamin, and folate as L5-MTHF. Now, what does that mean in English? Simply this. People know that folic acid, by the way, is very popular and used in supplements, but it's a synthetic form made in a laboratory. It can't be used by the body very well at all. So what happened, they found out in their research that a lot of people in this country have a very bad deficiency in folic acid. What they're talking about is the L5-MTHF, which is a bioactive form. Now, why is that essential to building bone? Well, the body has to have that folate in order to, and as well as the others, in order to repair the DNA at the cellular level. That would include bone tissue as well. That would be required to make sure that DNA is being repaired every day because it's being attacked by free radicals, so you need to make sure that it's working. And also they discovered that along with the B6 and the B12 as methylcobalamin, which is bioactive, it helps to control homocysteine, which people have a lot of. Now, what does that mean? A high homocysteine level can do more than just damage the bone tissue, which it will do. What it does, it destroys the collagen in the bone, weakening the structure, the matrix structure where calcium is attached to. But high homocysteine levels will also create coronary artery disease. It can contribute to heart attacks and strokes, deep vein thrombosis, all kinds of issues with the vascular system, even miscarriages, birth defects, depression, hearing loss, cancer, arthritis, and dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and complications of diabetes. So we need to control the homocysteine. So we've got this in here, in this product, to help do that.
And the product that you're talking about is the
Healthful Bone.
Healthful Bone, and that's made by HealthfulBalance. And I just want to quickly get in so that we don't run out of time, that HealthfulBalance has a special offer for the Healthful Bone.
Yes, we do. We have a special offer on this product. It's 15% off of Healthful Bone 300 tablets. All you got to do is go to HealthfulBalance.net, enter the special code, HOLISTIC, or you could call toll-free at 855-888-2211. And for anyone listening today, if you provide your email address, you can receive a free article I wrote called Contributory Factors for Osteo and Rheumatoid Arthritis, Spinal Disc Disease, and Osteoporosis. And if you also contribute your email address, I'll send you another article with that called Chlorine, Crippler, and Killer. You need to read that.
That's awesome.
And thank you, Charlie, for sending me an advanced copy, and it's really intriguing. It's not, for the listeners out there, this is not just like a little one-page article. This is a in-depth piece of literature.
And if you didn't get that information, we're going to repeat it again, but you can always call the Tree of Life Wellness Center at 508-336-4242, and we will gladly give out that information, how to get the free articles, as well as how to order the Healthful Bone by HealthfulBalance. And when should people start taking the Healthful Bone?
Well, they should start taking it before they have a problem. In other words, don't say, well, I don't have osteoporosis. I went to the doctor, I'm fine. No. You need to take it now. Take it so that you can prevent the problem down the road. If you do have osteoporosis, osteopenia, that type of thing, or if you have cardiovascular problems, this will help with that as well. Take it now. Always do preventive. Preventative is always easier than trying to repair it later.
Now, if somebody is already taking something like Fosamax or any of the biphosphonates, can they still take the Healthful Bone?
They can still take it, but I would highly suggest that they gradually wean themselves off of the Fosamax because it's so deleterious to the body. In other words, it's very damaging to all the bodies, and it also will interfere with nutrient function in the body as well. We have calcium, magnesium in equal amounts in here in a form that the body can absorb very easily. It won't cause those side effects that other forms of calcium and magnesium will cause. So you don't have to worry about it, and it's only got 400 milligrams of calcium, magnesium, so you're not getting an overabundance, which will cause problems to your body in the future down the road.
And basically, with this formula, the Healthful Bone, you're putting into balance the nutrition that is needed to build new bone,
right,
and not just make the bones harder.
No, what we're doing is we're putting very good ingredients in here, excellent. In fact, I don't know of any other bone builder on the market that's like this, that you take, and what it will do, it will feed, it will nourish, it will build and strengthen and restore healthful function to the bone tissue, so you have flexible, healthy, strong bones, and it will all support healthy, functional cardiovascular system as well.
And once again, if you could give out the information as far as how to order the Healthful Bone?
Yes, all you have to do is go to the website at healthfulbalance.net, enter the special code Holistic, get 15% off, or call toll-free at 855-888-2211.
And if they provide their email address, they're also going to get those awesome articles that you've written.
I'm a stickler on this one article, Chlorine Crippler and Killer. I've had doctors call me and request permission to get it because they didn't want to break my copyright laws, so they could give it to their patients. That's how good this article is.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today, Charlie, and informing our listeners as to how to have successfully rebuild your bone back so that you have nice, strong, healthy bones. We hope you come back again.
I'll be back in the future.
Okay, thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Have a great weekend. Oh, he's so awesome. He knows everything. But it's true. I think the doctors, I'm still astonished at the number of doctors who just tell their patients, take a bunch of calcium.
Yeah. Again, it's never worked. I mean, it's never worked. For 30 years, it's never worked.
And again,
but they just keep doing it.
This Healthful Bone has some calcium in it. It has magnesium. It has the folate. It has all these nutrients that Charlie was talking about that helps to put them all into balance. So it's like the perfect food for the bones.
Yeah.
And they'll just suck it right up and, strong, healthy bones. And again, if you didn't get all that information, you can always call the Tree of Life Wellness Center at 508-336-4242, and we will gladly give that information out, how you can, order the Healthful Bone and get 15% off, as well as get those free articles by Charlie Skeen. Again, he's a certified nutritionist. Awesome.
Again, HealthfulBalance is a company that they don't have a huge line of products. They don't make 100 different products. They make a few really, really high-quality products.
Effective products. So, there you go. Wow, went by fast.
Hey, we got to thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're here each and every week, so don't miss an episode. Make sure you go to HolisticHealthline.com. While you're there, check out Jan's blog. Always intriguing information there. Got to thank all our producers up and down the East Coast, but especially Heather here at home. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.